This is my final assignment presentation for computer apps. The purpose of this was to discuss how to use social media to enhance student learning, learn about appropriate and inappropriate relationships, identify social media grooming actions, and the causes and consequences of those relationships, and discover connections between social media guidelines, recommendations, and misconduct consequences. My eyes red. We have how can teachers use social media to enhance learning? Some uses of those is to post homework, create out-class study groups, extra credit opportunities, a student of the week, real-life examples, and to share classroom news events. An example of this is like Harding has a Facebook page that most parents follow and get their information from. Appropriate and inappropriate actions. Appropriate actions will be a class-focused social media account, office hour social media account, school sports teams account, and a class discussion account. I've seen on Instagram like accounts from different schools where teachers are like an environmental science class, or they'll go places and they'll like post things for like the class to see and everything. Or like at Harding we have school sports teams Instagram's account, and just to make it easier for students to like follow the teams. Inappropriate actions would be non-school oriented direct messaging, friending students on personal accounts, posting information about students, teachers, or faculty on personal accounts, and developing personal, emotional, physical relationships that are outside the boundaries of a student-teacher. Sexual misconduct has increased between students and teachers, and a big reason is social media. The trend of sexual misconduct in schools has found an alarming increase, and the trend of that is social media. 35% of those cases are social media cases. A report mandated by Congress estimated 10% of public school students are involved in some type of sexual misconduct by teachers. And the biggest reason now is social media. Social media is never private. There have been teachers who, on their private account, post things that they do for exercise, post classes that they run outside of school and everything, and have been suspended, paid or unpaid, because their district found it inappropriate. Social media grooming actions used to initiate inappropriate educator-student relationships. There's a video in here about the correct definitions and experiences of grooming and sexual misconduct, because most don't know what it actually is. Misconduct is indecent images, breaches of boundaries, sexual or physical or mental, emotional, total prohibition orders. That has seen a very large increase since 2012. Actions that can appear as grooming through social media: calling or sending text frequently, sending pictures, jokes, or information that is appropriate, sending messages that are becoming increasingly friendly or sexual in nature, and connecting social media interactions in secrecy. Most interactions between teachers and students are not an issue, but once it becomes private, or a secret, it means that somebody is trying to hide something, and that's when something is going wrong. Sexual misconduct in schools. Offenders are most likely male, white, and 36. They are general education, coaches, PE teachers, musical teachers, and they have some type of prior allegations against them. Victims are most likely female, 15, and in high school. Most of the time they are minorities, or they come from an economically challenged lifestyle. Warning signs: obvious or inappropriate preferential teachers, excessive time spent alone, time spent with the student outside of class, repeated time spent in private spaces, defending or becoming the student's confidant, befriending parents, making visits to his home, etc. Causes: fantasies, fetishes, improper role models, failed background checks, and no check-ins between the relationship. Consequences of those causes are being suspended from work, paid and unpaid, being fired, loss of teaching license, jail time, and registering as a sex offender. Inside this PowerPoint, there are a few different slides about utilization guidelines from different schools, and they all very obviously connect and are very clear, and they all can compare very easily. But that's my slide presentation. There are more images and everything on the slide that talks about more, but I don't want this video to be super long.